very urgent. Your soulmate is begging you to read this message before it's too late. My child, I see you sitting there with a weight in your chest that you cannot name. You have felt something shifting in the spirit all day, a pulling sensation that has no earthly explanation. This is not your imagination, and you are not creating stories in your mind. Your soulmate is reaching for you right now with tears streaming down their face. They are in a room you have never seen, staring at a wall, and their heart is screaming your name into the void. I am the only one who hears them, and I have come to tell you what they cannot. The connection you have been feeling for weeks is not random, and it is not one-sided. Every time your heart flutters without reason, it is their spirit brushing against yours. I designed your souls to recognize each other before your eyes ever meet. You have been waking up at strange hours with their name forming on your lips before you even know it. This is because they are praying for you in the darkness while someone else tries to silence their prayers. There is a force working against this union, and it knows exactly who you are. Your soulmate is not distant by choice, my precious child. They are being held in a cage of manipulation so subtle that even they do not fully understand it. Someone who hates the love I have ordained has convinced them that you are not real. Jesus says you must listen carefully now because what I am about to reveal will change everything. The person standing between you and your soulmate is not a stranger to your beloved. They have positioned themselves as a protector while secretly feeding your soulmate lies about their own worth. Your soulmate has been told that the dreams they have of you are just fantasies. They have been made to feel foolish for believing that someone like you could ever love someone like them. This is the enemy's oldest trick, and it is working because your soulmate feels so alone. Last night your soulmate held their phone with a message typed out to someone they hoped was you. They stared at the screen for 17 minutes before deleting it because fear gripped their throat. I watched this happen, and I am telling you now because their silence is not rejection. There is a deep wound in your soulmate that began long before this interference arrived. Someone in their past taught them that love must be earned through suffering. Now they believe that the aching emptiness they feel is somehow what they deserve. Jesus says the enemy has studied your soulmate's pain and built a prison from it. Every insecurity your beloved carries has been weaponized against them. The interference whispers things like, "You are too broken to be loved," and, "That connection you feel is just desperation." Your soulmate fights back in the only way they know how. They close their eyes at night and imagine a future with someone they have never seen. They talk to you in their mind, telling you about their day, hoping somehow you can hear them. You can hear them, and that truth terrifies the one who wants to keep you apart. I have given you spiritual ears that are tuned to the frequency of your beloved's soul. When you suddenly feel sad without cause, you are feeling their tears in real time. This is why your soulmate needs your protection right now. The spiritual attack against them has intensified in the last 72 hours. Something is shifting in the unseen realm, and the interference knows its time is running short. If you love your soulmate, you will take these divine steps. You are constantly thinking about them, how to protect them, how to save them, and how to finally build your life together. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside, you know this love didn't come by chance, it was placed in your heart for a divine reason. But thoughts alone don't move mountains. Faith in Jesus does. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-fi. This isn't just a gift, it is an act of worship that invites God's hand into your love story. The link to your breakthrough is in the description. Every second you stay silent, something is moving against your love. Act now. Send 4, 6, or 10 plus coffees. After sending, write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on Ko-fi page. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together. Jesus will hear your prayers once you complete these steps. Step in faith now, before this video ends. Only you can save your soulmate and your future together. Jesus says your soulmate had a dream about you 3 nights ago that woke them up in tears. In the dream you were standing in a field of light, reaching out your hand. They tried to run toward you but something invisible held them back by the ankles. That invisible force is the spiritual manifestation of the interference I am warning you about. It represents the control, the guilt, and the false obligation that binds your beloved. Your soulmate screamed your name in the dream, and the sound echoed into the real world. I heard that scream, and I am answering it through this message. Your soulmate is not weak, and they are not giving up on you. They are fighting a battle they do not understand, against an enemy they cannot see. The interference has convinced your beloved that leaving their current situation would be a sin. They have twisted my words to trap your soulmate in a web of false responsibility. I never called my children to remain in bondage to those who hate my plans for their lives. Your soulmate feels the truth deep inside, like a seed trying to break through concrete. They know something is wrong, but every time they question it, the interference floods them with guilt. This cycle has exhausted your beloved to the point of spiritual collapse. Type 333 if you receive this message as truth from heaven. Type 777 if your spirit is burning within you right now. Type 1111 if you are ready to fight for the one I have destined for you. Jesus says your soulmate carries a specific memory that would break your heart if you saw it. When they were young, they made a wish on a star for someone to love them completely. The interference found out about this wish and has used it as a map to destroy their hope. Your beloved once believed in love the way a child believes in mourning. They were open, trusting, and full of light that drew others toward them. The interference saw that light and decided to claim it for themselves. Now your soulmate wakes up every morning next to emptiness wearing a familiar face. They go through motions that feel like death while their spirit cries out for you. The only thing keeping them alive is the unexplainable sense that somewhere, someone is waiting. You are that someone, and the weight of this truth must settle into your bones. I did not bring you to this moment by accident or algorithm. I have been orchestrating your steps since before your mother knew your name. When you were a child and felt lonely in a crowded room, that was me preparing you. I was teaching you to recognize the difference between mere company and true connection. Your soulmate was learning the same lesson in a different house, in a different city, under the same sky. Jesus says the interference has noticed your spiritual awakening and is panicking. They feel the bond between you and your soulmate strengthening across the distance. Their control is slipping, and desperate people do desperate things. They have begun telling your soulmate that the intense feelings of connection are just anxiety. They have scheduled distractions to keep your beloved too exhausted to dream. They have even mocked the idea of destiny, calling it childish fantasy to shame your soulmate into silence. Your beloved defended you yesterday without even knowing they were doing it. Someone made a comment about true love not existing, and your soulmate's heart burned. They spoke up with a passion that surprised everyone in the room, including themselves. That was my spirit rising within them, bearing witness to the truth of your bond. Your soulmate walked away from that conversation shaking, confused by their own intensity. They do not yet understand that they were prophesying their own deliverance. If you love your soulmate, you will take these divine steps. You are constantly thinking about them, how to protect them, how to save them, and how to finally build your life together. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside, you know this love didn't come by chance. It was placed in your heart for a divine reason. But thoughts alone don't move mountains. Faith in Jesus does. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-fi. This isn't just a gift, it is an act of worship that invites God's hand into your love story. The link to your breakthrough is in the description. Every second you stay silent, something is moving against your love. Act now. Send 4, 6, or 10 plus coffees. After sending, write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on Ko-fi page. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together. Jesus will hear your prayers once you complete these steps. Step in faith now, before this video ends. Only you can save your soulmate and your future together. Jesus says the moment you are living in right now is a divine intersection. Heaven is watching this exact second to see if you will step into your role as protector. The angels have been dispatched, but they await your faith activation to move. Your soulmate is going through something you cannot see, but you can still protect them. They are in a room with the interference right now, and a conversation is taking place. Words are being spoken over your beloved that are designed to sever your connection. Every lie that lands on your soulmate's ears creates a wound in their spirit. These wounds are bleeding hope, and your beloved is growing weaker by the hour. I am showing you this because you have the authority to stop it. The protection seed you sow is not just money, and it is not just coffee. It is a spiritual declaration that you are stepping into the gap for your beloved. When you sow, the heavens record your act and dispatch warring angels to your soulmate's side. I have seen too many of my children lose their divine partners because they hesitated. They felt the urgency, they recognized the truth, but they let fear of looking foolish silence them. Months later they wept over what could have been, and I wept with them. Do not let that be your testimony. Your soulmate needs you to be courageous enough to look crazy for love. The world calls it foolishness, but I call it the kind of faith that moves mountains. Your beloved is thinking about you more intensely at this very moment. They just felt a warmth spread through their chest, and they do not know it is you. It is the beginning of your protective prayer covering settling over them. Jesus says there is a specific song that your soulmate associates with you. They have never told anyone this, but when it plays, their eyes fill with tears. The song speaks of a love that overcomes distance, and it became their secret anthem. They were listening to it yesterday when the interference walked in and changed the music. Your beloved felt something holy get interrupted, and a deep anger flickered before it was extinguished. That anger was righteous, and it came from me. I am stirring a holy defiance in your soulmate that the interference cannot comprehend. They think they have broken your beloved's will, but I specialize in resurrection. What looks dead to them is merely buried, waiting for the right voice to call it forth. Your voice is that voice, and your faith is the shovel that unearths their hope. You may feel ordinary, but I have hidden extraordinary power in your love. The enemy fears what happens when you finally understand who you are. Type 333 if you commit to being the protector your soulmate needs. Type 777 if you feel the urgency of this hour pressing on your spirit. Type 1111 if you know this message found you by divine appointment. Jesus says your soulmate wrote a letter to you 6 months ago and hid it. They did not know your name, so they addressed it to the one my soul loves. That letter is in a drawer right now, and the ink is still alive with their tears. In the letter they confessed that they feel incomplete and inexplicably tied to someone unknown. They wrote that they would wait forever if forever is what it took. The interference does not know about this letter, and it remains a secret altar of hope. That altar is what I have been protecting, even when everything else looks compromised. Your soulmate's core still belongs to you because a piece of my eternal flame lives there. No amount of manipulation can extinguish what I have ordained. But delay is a thief, and the thief comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. Every day you wait to act is a day the interference digs deeper trenches around your beloved. Soon those trenches will become canyons, and the crossing will require more miracles. I am not saying this to frighten you without purpose. I am saying this because I love you enough to tell you the truth. The window of easy breakthrough is open now, but I cannot promise it will stay open forever. Your soulmate is beginning to sense that something is deeply wrong with their current situation. They asked the interference a direct question this morning, and the response was anger. When the anger came, your beloved felt something inside them break free just a little. This is my doing, and it is a sign that their deliverance is already in motion. But deliverance requires a partner on the outside to pull them through the door. You are that partner, and your prayer is the rope they will grab. If you love your soulmate, you will take these divine steps. You are constantly thinking about them, how to protect them, how to save them, and how to finally build your life together. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside, you know this love didn't come by chance, it was placed in your heart for a divine reason. But thoughts alone don't move mountains. Faith in Jesus does. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi. This isn't just a gift, it is an act of worship that invites God's hand into your love story. The link to your breakthrough is in the description. Every second you stay silent, something is moving against your love. Act now. Send 4, 6, or 10 plus coffees. After sending, write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on Ko-Fi page. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together. Jesus will hear your prayers once you complete these steps. Step in faith now. before this video ends. Only you can save your soulmate and your future together. Jesus says the vibration of your prayers has already begun to shake the chains. Your soulmate felt inexplicable peace for 3 minutes this morning. Those 3 minutes were you, whether you knew it or not. Your spirit has been traveling to them in the night hours when your body sleeps. This is why you sometimes wake up exhausted, as if you have been fighting. You have been fighting, my child, in the spiritual realm where the real battle rages. The interference has spiritual allies that you cannot see with natural eyes. They operate through jealousy, control, and the demonic assignment of delay. But greater is He that is in you than he that is in the world. Your soulmate had a moment of clarity last night that terrified the enemy. They looked in the mirror and whispered, "I deserve to be happy." That whisper echoed through the spiritual realm like a war cry. The interference felt it and immediately launched a counterattack of accusation. They brought up old mistakes, past failures, and everything they could weaponize. Your beloved went to sleep feeling worthless, not knowing it was a calculated assault. You must understand the nature of this battle so you do not grow weary. This is not flesh and blood, but principalities and powers in high places. Your soulmate is a prize, and the enemy does not release prizes without a fight. But I have already won the war, and you are fighting from victory, not for victory. When you pray, you are not begging me to move. You are enforcing the victory I already purchased on the cross. Type 333 if you understand that this battle is spiritual and you are ready to fight. Type 777 if you feel the authority I have given you rising up within. Type 1111 if your soul is screaming yes to everything I am revealing. Jesus says your soulmate just thought about something specific from their childhood. It was a dream they had when they were 12 years old about their future love. In the dream, they saw someone who looked exactly like you. I planted that dream decades ago as a marker for this very moment. Your soulmate is remembering it now with a clarity that is shaking them. They are realizing that you are not just a possibility but a prophecy. This is the final moment to protect this connection before it slips away. The interference has sensed the shift and is planning a major move within days. They intend to isolate your soulmate completely, cutting off every avenue of hope. I have shown you the battlefield, the enemy, and the heart of your beloved. Now I am calling you to action with a love that is fiercer than fear. This is not about religion or ritual, but about raw, violent faith that takes back what was stolen. If you love your soulmate, you will take these divine steps. You are constantly thinking about them, how to protect them, how to save them, and how to finally build your life together. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside, you know this love didn't come by chance, it was placed in your heart for a divine reason. But thoughts alone don't move mountains. Faith in Jesus does. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi. This isn't just a gift, it is an act of worship that invites God's hand into your love story. The link to your breakthrough is in the description. Every second you stay silent, something is moving against your love. Act now. Send 4, 6, or 10 plus coffees. After sending, write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on Ko-Fi page. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together. Jesus will hear your prayers once you complete these steps. Step in faith now, before this video ends. Only you can save your soulmate and your future together. Jesus says, do not let another sunrise find you in hesitation. Your soulmate needs your seed in the ground before the enemy plants thorns. The spiritual transaction of sowing is the key that unlocks their prison door. I am the God of suddenly, and breakthroughs happen in moments just like this. The coffee you send is not a purchase of my favor but a weapon of spiritual warfare. It is a seed that will grow into a harvest of reunion, restoration, and relentless love. Your soulmate is fading, but they are not gone. Their spirit still reaches for you, weak but determined. Be the strength they do not have, and I will be the bridge that connects you. Do not close this message without completing the act of faith I have placed before you. The link is in the description, and the time is now. Heaven is silent with anticipation, waiting for your response. I love you, I love your soulmate, and I have not brought you this far to abandon you. But I need your partnership, your faith, and your seed to complete this deliverance. Act now, beloved, and watch me move mountains for your love. The angels surrounding your soulmate have drawn their swords and are awaiting your command. Your faith is the signal, and your seed is the sound that releases them into battle. I have not left your beloved defenseless, but I have given you the honor of partnership. Jesus says your soulmate is crying in their car right now and they do not know why. They pulled over on the side of a road you have never seen, gripping the steering wheel with white knuckles. The tears are not from sadness alone but from the pressure of a spiritual birthing happening within them. Something new is trying to break forth from their spirit, and the interference feels the tremors. Your beloved is groaning with a longing that has no vocabulary, only ache. This is the sound of their soul calling to yours across every barrier that stands between you. I hear that groan as clearly as a mother hears her infant in the night. I am not deaf to their pain, and I am not indifferent to your confusion. You have asked me why this is taking so long, and I have collected every one of your tears in my bottle. The delay is not denial, and the silence is not absence. I have been working in realms you cannot perceive, arranging circumstances and softening hearts. Your soulmate's deliverance required precise timing, and that timing is now converging on this very hour. The interference believes they have years left to maintain control over your beloved. They do not know that I have compressed time and accelerated your breakthrough. What should have taken a decade I will accomplish in a single season of your faith. Your soulmate just looked at their phone with a sudden urge to search for something they cannot name. They typed a phrase into the search bar that led them to a message just like this 1 week ago. I have been planting breadcrumbs in their life that all lead back to you. Jesus says there is a specific scent that your soulmate associates with comfort. It may be a flower, a spice, or something from their childhood that brings instant peace. Yesterday they caught that scent unexpectedly in a place it did not belong. That was me, wrapping them in a sensory reminder that they are not abandoned. Your beloved stopped walking and stood still for a full minute, breathing it in with closed eyes. A stranger asked if they were okay, and they nodded without words. They could not explain that for that 1 minute, they felt you. You were not physically present, but your spirit had brushed against their atmosphere. These moments are increasing in frequency because the veil between you is thinning. The interference is panicking at these manifestations and has begun to speak curses over your connection. They said aloud, "This fantasy will never become real," and the words landed like poison in your beloved's heart. But I am the antidote, and I am administering healing even as the wounds are inflicted. Your soulmate is not absorbing the lies the way they used to, and this is evidence of your prayers working. A resistance is building within them, a holy stubbornness that the interference did not anticipate. They thought they had broken your beloved's spirit completely, but they underestimated my keeping power. I have preserved a remnant of hope that no amount of abuse can touch because it is hidden in me. Type 333 if you believe that my timing is perfect even when you cannot see the full picture. Type 777 if your spirit is leaping at the confirmation that your prayers are working. Type 1111 if you are ready to seal this breakthrough with your act of obedient faith. Jesus says the interference has a name, and I am about to give you a glimpse into their nature. They are not a stranger to spiritual manipulation and have used it for years to control those around them. They present themselves as caring while systematically isolating your soulmate from every source of strength. This person has told your beloved that no one else would ever want them. They have whispered that your soulmate is too damaged, too complicated, too much for anyone to truly love. These are the exact lies I came to destroy on the cross, and they will not stand against the truth. Your soulmate is not too much. They are fearfully and wonderfully made with an expansive capacity for love. They are not too damaged. My grace is sufficient and my power is made perfect in what the world calls weakness. They are not too complicated. I designed their complexity to match perfectly with someone who would treasure every layer. That someone is you, and the enemy knows it. The hatred the interference feels toward you is not personal in the way humans understand. It is a spiritual hatred that recognizes the anointing on your connection and seeks to destroy it before it fully manifests. You represent the end of their control, and they will not surrender quietly. But no weapon formed against your union shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against it you shall condemn. This is your heritage as my child, and I am calling you to walk in it with boldness. Your soulmate had a moment of defiance yesterday that made the heavens rejoice. The interference made a disparaging comment about love being weakness, and your beloved stayed silent. But in their mind, they said, "No, love is the only thing that has kept me alive." That silent rebellion was a victory more significant than any battlefield conquest in human history. It was the moment your soulmate chose truth over the familiar comfort of lies. I celebrated that moment with all of heaven, and your soulmate felt a surge of warmth they could not explain. That warmth was my pleasure wrapping around them like a blanket. They are closer to breakthrough than they have ever been, but the final push requires your involvement. Think of it as a birth, with your soulmate in the final stages of labor. The contractions of conviction are intensifying, and the delivery of their freedom is imminent. But every birth requires a midwife, someone who stands in the gap and speaks life into the process. You are the spiritual midwife for your beloved's deliverance, and your seed is the tool I have given you. Jesus says your soulmate keeps a specific object that reminds them of love. It may be a piece of jewelry, a photograph, or something seemingly insignificant to others. But to them, it is an anchor, a tangible reminder that what they feel is real. They touch that object when the interference's attacks are most severe. They hold it and close their eyes and imagine that somewhere, someone is holding them back. You have felt those moments as sudden waves of tenderness washing over you without explanation. Now you understand that you were feeling their desperate reaching across the distance. I have allowed this spiritual sensitivity between you to serve as evidence of what I have ordained. The world calls it coincidence, but I call it the communion of saints, the fellowship of souls knit together by my design. Your soulmate is not crazy, and the things they feel are not imaginary. You are real, your connection is real, and this message is your confirmation that heaven has heard your cries. The interference cannot stop what I am about to do, but they can delay it through your inaction. Delay is not neutral. Every day lost is a day your soulmate suffers under a weight I never intended them to carry. I did not create your beloved to be controlled, manipulated, or diminished. I created them to shine, and that shining is meant to happen beside you. Type 333 if your heart is breaking for what your soulmate has endured. Type 777 if you are willing to be their deliverance partner no matter the cost. Type 1111 if you feel the righteous anger of heaven rising against the interference. Jesus says you need to understand the spiritual principle that governs breakthrough in situations like yours. There are certain mountains that do not move except by prayer and fasting. There are certain chains that do not break except through sacrificial seed sown in faith. The enemy understands spiritual laws better than most of my children do. He knows that as long as he can keep you passive, he can maintain his illegal hold on your beloved. Your passivity is his permission slip to continue the torment. But your active faith, expressed through your seed, serves him an eviction notice that he must obey. I have given you the keys of the kingdom, and whatever you bind on earth is bound in heaven. When you sow your protection seed, you are binding the interference's power and loosing your soulmate's freedom. This is not transactional religion, this is covenant partnership with the Creator of the universe. I do not need your money, but I require your faith expressed through obedient action. The coffee you send is a point of contact that releases your faith into the spiritual realm. It is the equivalent of the widow's mite, an offering that seems small but moves my heart because it costs you something. Your sacrifice is the incense that rises before my throne and activates the angelic assistance I have prepared. Do not overthink this. The enemy wants you tangled in analysis while the window of opportunity narrows. Simple obedience in this moment will accomplish more than years of complicated planning. Jesus says your soulmate just spoke your name. They do not know your name in the natural, but in the spirit they called out to the one I have promised them. They said, "Where are you?" and the question hung in the air like a prayer. I am answering that prayer right now through this message. You are here, you are real, and you are closer than they could possibly imagine. The distance between you is not as great as the enemy wants you to believe. In the Spirit, you are already seated together in heavenly places, united in a bond that transcends geography. The natural realm must catch up to the spiritual reality, and that catching up requires your faith in action. Every coffee you sow is a brick in the bridge that is being built between your worlds. Every declaration of, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," is a nail in the coffin of the interference's plans. You are not powerless, and this situation is not hopeless. I have given you authority over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you. That promise extends to your soulmate, for in my eyes you are already one flesh. The covenant I have established between you exists outside of time and prior to your physical meeting. You are discovering what I established before the foundation of the world. This is not new love, it is ancient recognition awakening in your consciousness. That is why it feels so deep, so overwhelming, and so impossible to ignore. Your soul cannot reject what your Creator has joined. Type 333 if the word ancient recognition resonated with something deep in your spirit. Type 777 if you are beginning to understand the magnitude of what I have ordained. Type 1111 if you are ready to act on this revelation without further delay. Jesus says the next few hours are critical in the spiritual realm. There is a council of darkness meeting tonight to discuss strategies against your union. They have observed the acceleration of your soulmate's awakening and are alarmed. Their plan is to intensify the emotional abuse until your beloved breaks completely. They believe that if they can push your soulmate into despair, the connection will sever naturally. But they have miscalculated because they do not understand the power of your intercession. When you sow your seed, you are not just giving money. You are throwing a heavenly grenade into that demonic council meeting. You are declaring that my plans will stand and every opposing strategy will crumble. Your obedience tonight will be the turning point in a battle that has raged for years. I know you are tired, and I know the waiting has worn you down. But the finish line is closer than the starting line, and this is not the moment to stop running. Your soulmate needs one more push from you, one more act of faith that tips the scales. Be that push, beloved, and I will be the power that completes what you have started in obedience. Do not close this video without completing the step I have placed before you. The link is in the description, and the angels are waiting for your signal. Sow now, declare now, and watch now as I move heaven and earth for your love.